These turtles might help us heal some of the most debilitating and common diseases. Painted turtles in southern Canada and the north of the US, they can survive 6 months overwintering without breathing oxygen. And this isn't even the amazing part about their biology and their behavior. The thing that's most difficult is when the oxygen comes back, when they take that first breath in spring, because this can cause what's known as a reperfusion injury. And reperfusion injuries are the reason that stroke in the brain and heart attacks for the rest of the body are so damaging. It's when oxygen returns to a system that hasn't had it for so long that it becomes explosive, because it's a reactive gas. It's the reason that fire can be a fire, is that oxygen fuels it. And so when it comes back into a system in the body, in the biological system, it creates reactive oxygen molecules, or reactive oxygen species as they're known, but not in painted turtles. So these reptiles, they have one advantage, is that they're cold-blooded and they can reduce their metabolism down to 99% or 99.9% of what it was when they were active and eating and living in a pond in spring. But there are tricks that we can learn, even though they're very different in their reptilian mode of life. So one thing is reducing those ingredients that can become reactive oxygen species, and one of them is called succinate. And turtles keep this molecule at really low levels throughout their overwintering period, so that when they take that first breath, succinate is then not just shunted into the metabolism with oxygen that creates these reactive oxygen species. And this is one of the main reasons why a lot of their cells don't just explode with the reperfusion injury that we would suffer from. And the other trick is in their brain. So they use a specific neurotransmitter called GABA, which is the most common inhibitory neurotransmitter used in most biological systems. So including our brains, it's one of the most common neurotransmitters used to dampen down signals, to stop neurons from communicating to each other. And turtles use this to go into a state of channel arrest. So they're not essentially shutting everything off, which would be, death, but they are dampening everything down so that it doesn't overreact when oxygen returns. And this is one of the things that scientists are looking at in terms of preventing the long effects of long debilitating illness of a stroke, is that if they could use GABA to then shut down the overreaction of our brain cells, this reperfusion injury might not be so severe, and people who suffer from a stroke might have better outcomes. So could timely injections reduce the amount of succinate in our body that would then reduce the impact of heart attacks? Or could we inhibit our neurons and stop them from overreacting after a stroke? Maybe. One thing's for sure, this turtle doesn't really care.